Hello, beautiful. This is Kenasiu, the founder of the Wellbeing Project, and welcome to the very first Living Intentionally Circle call. So the idea is to have a monthly call for this membership, which is free or paid, whatever you choose to be, and to offer you guidance on how to actually live intentionally. So thank you so much for being here, either if you're here live or watching the replay. I really appreciate it. And so let's start on. So what does it mean living intentionally, really? So living intentionally really is living according to our values, to your values. Because since we are individual beings, of course, each of us, we have different values. Even when we may come from the same family or same parents, our father, our mother, our brother and sister, our siblings, they're going to have different values because we have different personalities. And also it depends on our life experiences, how we're going to take life and how we're going to consider important to us as an individual. So that really means living intentionally according to your values, because it's actually how we live life. According to our core values, either if they are freedom, peace, family, respect, joy, whatever it is that are your core values, you're usually going to take actions and make decisions based on those values. And it doesn't matter in which area of our life, is usually based in our core values, if we are living in alignment, of course. So that's why the idea of living intentionally, because the idea of this living intentionally circle is really to guide you, for you to align yourself with those values so you can live in coherence and in harmony. Because a lot of times what happens is, while we are living or surviving, unfortunately, so that's one of the things also about living intentionally, is about getting rid of that surviving mode. It's really putting attention on what we want to focus, what we want to experience in life. So that's why actually I decided to create this living intentionally circle, to be able to guide you on how you can really create a life that you desire, that you want. Because it is possible. Again, if we come back to that survivor mode, I lived there for many, many years. But to tell you the truth, that's not a way of living. It's just surviving, just going through things in life. And most of the time, we feel it like they are happening to us instead of happening for us. But once we really live with intention, when we set those intentions of life, when we really live on purpose of what we want to create and experience, we can shift our life like this. It can really change our perception and living moments, actually, because we are more present. We are more aware of what is going on with us. And just by setting that intention, we know that we have a focus. And having focus in our life is very important, because then we know what we want, and then we know what we don't want. So the idea is to really focus on what we want to create and what we want to experience, to be able to manifest it, right? So today, the main topic of this Living Intentional Circle, it's about wrapping up 2022 to live a 2023 with excitement and intention and joy. because the past haven't been years haven't been easy, have been very, very challenging years for many of us. So I do believe, and I hope that you want to make this shift as well, that you can also want to make that shift of believing that you can change your reality, that you can shift some of your perceptions and way of seeing life so you can start living in a better way and feeling good and experiencing really what you want. So I'm going to start by saying some of the benefits of living intentionally, because, well, there are a lot, but I'm going to mention some of the ones that I think are the more important ones, if I can say it that way, because it could be so many things. It could be so many things. But if I kind of enveloping and 10 different benefits that we can get from living intentionally. So first of all, I'm going to start by saying that the aim of this membership, the Living Intentionally Circle, is really to guide you to align your being, meaning your persona, with your mindset, with your beliefs, your actions, and then also at the same time to create a structure that can help you create the life that you desire, the life that you want to experience, and doing it by design and not by default. Because how many times we experience things that they just happen to us. And yeah, that's part of life too, but at least some of the things that we consider more important to us, we really have to take the time to design how we want to live it. Otherwise, somebody else is going to take the decisions for us. Somebody else is going to impose on us. And then we are miserable. We don't like what we are experiencing. We feel frustrated. Some people actually get depressed. And, so many illnesses related with mental health. And it's my perception, how I see it, is really because we don't put an intention on how we want to live. What is our purpose? And I'm not talking about a big purpose, like at one point having, I don't know, a big company and be able also to do fundraising for people and help them. Even if that's for you, awesome. But I'm talking about just the purpose. Like if you purpose now, like my purpose now is to be present with you and offering you this perception that I have of life, or living intentionally, that it has helped me to really feel fulfilled and successful and free and joyful. And in this case, it's just my purpose now is transmitting you that message, transmitting you what I have experienced, and hopefully something will click on you, that you can spark something that you say, oh yeah, I can use this, or I never saw this on this way, this point of view, So it's really, if I can spark something in you, a kind of like inspiration, kind of out support, because that's what I want with this membership, offer you support and offering you accountability and nourishment directly with me as your guide here, but also with the members that are going to be coming into this Living Intentionally Circle. So the idea is to really create a community and support each other, because it's incredible how much we can actually learn from others, and at the same time understand that we are never alone. Sometimes we think that something is just happening to us, and we get into this, the hamster wheel, and we get stuck thinking that we are the only ones in there, when in reality it's not like that. Come on, we're almost 8 billion people here in the world. So imagine how many things are very similar, how many things are really similar that we are living, probably in different experiences and with different perceptions, and depending on how we have lived and our experiences on everything. But a lot of things are very similar. Like struggling at a job that we don't like, or grieving for the loss of a family member, or losing a partner by separation or divorce, or struggling with the friendship or that relationship with our parents, different things like that we think sometimes it's only happening to us, when we can really relate to others. And when we speak it up, just by speaking it out, we release ourselves from such a weight, for such a pain. For such a pain. Yeah, it is. And so in a way, we start getting some kind of healing just for sharing it to others. And that's one of the things that I want to keep in this membership, is really respecting the stories of others. So if you're going to share something outside, make sure that it's just your story, because we want to keep this circle private and nurturing, right, and supportive. And at the same time, while I'm gonna be, showing you some of the tools that I have used, that I keep using to live intentionally, I want you at the same time to share what you are experiencing, what different rituals or practices, or an article or a podcast that is actually helping you grow, that is helping you in your personal development, that it can also support and nourish others. Okay, so let's go now directly with which are some of the benefits of living intentionally. I'm gonna just take a bit of water before moving forward. One of the things that I'm really super grateful, and that's what I put it at the top, is you can be more present. Because by living intentionally, when you set an intention, you can either set an intention, let's say, for your day, or you can set an intention. Something that I have been practicing lately is really setting an intention every time I come to a container. So in this case, I'm giving this talk to you. So this is a container that I came in. So I set an intention to, when coming in here, to transmit all this information to you that hopefully can spark something in you. And at the same time, like really sharing my experience and my perceptions, and then whatever, again, sparks you, for you to feel inspired and move forward, that it can help you and nourish you. So when we really set an intention, since we have a focus on something specific, then we are more present, because we are more aware of what we are experiencing around us. And at the same time, the more present we are, the better we're going to be able to perceive, and then also to see how we are feeling. Because the way we are feeling is how, again, we are perceiving what's happening, right? Either if it's joy or sadness or pleasure, or you know, and it's usually with the body that we can feel either an expansion or sometimes it's a contraction. So just by noticing those really subtle things in our body, or even with our thoughts, just by being more present, more aware, we are able to choose better. So meaning, for example, if there is something that you are experiencing, excuse me, and you don't really like it, you feel like a contraction and say, no, like this is off. I don't know, let's say you are having a conversation with a person and you're feeling that something is off over there, then you can choose to really either leave the conversation, because yeah, it's valid to do that. You can either change the conversation, or you can either say politely to the person, I'm sorry, but I'm feeling that something is off here. Are you really expressing your truth with me? You know, so then you can choose really what you want to do based on yourself and how you are feeling. So that really helps you to be more present, and at the same time, making sure most of the time that you are experiencing something that you like. Right? Because how many times we actually have a conversation and then we end up with, we're all frustrated and we don't feel good. And then like, yeah, but why we didn't take that initiative and that awareness to say, no, stop, I'm moving forward, right? So that's one of the benefits, being more present, because we have focus. Another benefit is that we become achievers. We many times take for granted a lot of things that we do. Does this sound familiar to you? And that was one of the things that I actually decided to open this circle, instead of, you know, having and creating resolutions, which is valid. But according to the statistics, like really 80% of people only like achieve their resolutions of the year. So it's really low. And even out of the resolutions, when out of 14% of people who set goals, only 6% achieve them. So again, if we go to the statistics, it's really low. The thing is, if we really shifted to being intentional per day, or again, every time you go to a container, if you're being intentional with setting 2-3 goals per month, or, you know, or per week, whatever goes for you, according to the how do you say, that time frame that goal is gonna take, because sometimes it can take years, right? Not only weeks or months. So the idea is to then realize how much you are moving forward every time, so you can see that you are achieving something by living intentionally. And one of the things that we're gonna see next month on January, it's to really like setting intentional goals. And those goals are based in 90 days. So we don't do it for the whole year. We do it for 90 days. So we specifically work on those 90 days so we can really see how we are moving forward. And every win that you are doing, you are achieving something. So therefore, you become an achiever, right? Another benefit is that you feel pride and fulfilled. And this is related again to being an achiever, right? Because if we feel that we are fulfilling our goals, that, you know, we're checking the checklist of the goals and tasks that, better say, of the task of the goals that we want to achieve, then we feel pride of ourselves. Like say, okay, this week I achieved this. And we feel fulfilled. Because then we know we're working to our goals. It doesn't matter if they are short-term or if they are long-term. we know we are working to our goals little by little, but we are moving forward. And that helps us really feel that fulfillment sense, because we know we're moving towards our dreams. Another one of living intentionally, and this one, yeah, I'm really good at this one. I don't know if you know, but I'm a coach in habits. So for me, like really setting routines that makes you feel good, yeah, that's one of the benefits. And I specifically say routines that make you feel good, because each of us were different. We have different lifestyles. We have, starting from the kind of work that you have, your schedule, if you live alone, if you have a partner, if you have children, if you have pets, each of us will have different lifestyles. So the idea is to set routines that makes you feel good. And yes, maybe sometimes you will have to wake up 15 minutes before, or things like that. But at least you're going to do things that long-term or maybe short-term are going to start making you feel better. That you are improving your health, your well-being, right? And another benefit of living intentionally is you align with your values. As I mentioned before, that's actually what living intentionally means. It's really living under your values. And one of the things that we're going to see in one of the months here, I think it's the second month or the third month, could be February or March, we're really going to determine which are your core values. Because sometimes we think we have some values and we might adopt them from other people. And I'm just going to give you an example. My father, one of his main number one value was respect. So for me, respect is very important as well. I mean, I inherited from him. But once that I did an exercise to determine which were my core values, well, guess what? Respect was not in there. It was in my list somewhere in the 20th place or something, but it was not one of my core values. So it's really important to really define which are our core values, because again, we make decisions and we take action based in our values. Or that's the idea of living intentionally. Because what happens is when we act and we make decisions not based on that, there is incoherence. And that creates stress, that creates frustration, that creates pain. It can create a lot of negative emotions that we call them. But what those emotions are really telling us is like, you are not in alignment of what you really believe. So the idea of living intentionally then is to come into alignment, to come to what is relevant to you, so you then can create balance and harmony and joy in your life by being aligned with your values. Another benefit is your relationships improve. Yeah, they do. And starting with yourself. Why? Because since you're creating focus, since you know what you want and what you don't want, of course, you're going to focus on what you want. And then based on that, you're going to start, in this case, being more mindful of what you think, what actions you are taking, and also how you are setting boundaries within yourself. And that's what it comes then for others. Because when you're being intentionally with your dreams, with your desires, then that also creates a ripple effect on all your relationships. So then you're going to be more again, focused on what you want, that you're not going to care much about other people's businesses. And at the same time, you're not going to let other people get into your business. Because once you start seeing that you can create the life that you desire, you're going to say, yeah, this is it. This is what I want. I'm co-creating, I'm living what I want to. Or at least you are on the path to that. That is going to also help you to set healthy boundaries with other people, and to also be more mindful of your relationships. Some of them may change, some of them may improve, right? Based then on your values, in your intention of how you want to live your life. Another one is, and this is a gem, by living intentionally, we really take control of our life. We really do, because we know what we want to live. So then we take responsibility for ourselves. You may have then sorry, I just entered one of a participant here, and they just, hello, welcome. And so that by taking control of your life, because you know what you want to achieve, right? You know what you want to, your goals, and you have your tasks. And since you're achieving your tasks little by little, then you know you're taking action. And by taking action, you're taking responsibility for yourself, right? And it's important that you acknowledge that what, and because then you're going to notice what is actually serving you and what is not serving you. And again, you get to choose what you want to experience. You get to choose. Nobody else does it for you. And that's one of the things about living intentionally, the fact that you take the decisions. You are the one taking control of your life. You know what you want. And then another benefit is that you strengthen your boundaries. I just mentioned that a bit before, right? When improving our relationships, because you decide which are your priorities, right? And one of the things that actually, I'm going to be honest with you, I've been struggling lately is setting boundaries for myself. Because I noticed that then I will postpone something or sometimes not doing something because, well, it's just only on my own, right? And then I realized, yeah, but I gotta learn to say no to myself too. So it's also not only about setting boundaries for others, but also setting the boundaries for ourselves. So we can really then take action, intentional action with the goals that we want to achieve. And at the same time, when setting boundaries is really important, because each person, we really have our own energy, right? And time. So when we set boundaries, then we let know others that we have our own time, that if we want to help them, then we will do. But then when we have our time, because we got to remember that the priority is ourselves. Sometimes, yeah, we have to help someone in an emergency or something, and it's good. But at the same time, it's important that if you have something important for you to do, then set your boundary and say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, but this time I can't, because you have something else for you. So it's important that you keep your energy and you honor your time as well. Another benefit is that we really improve the relationship with the self. We really do, because we connect with ourselves at a deeper level. Because since we are more intentionally and we are more present and aware, then we start really, like really seeing our thoughts and feeling more our emotions. And then like to see, okay, that's a thought that I have, or this is a program that I have. And then we start realizing then that, well, first of all, we are not our thoughts, we are not our emotions, we are not our mind, right? We're just the noticer, that the observer of them. But by noticing all this and understanding that we have a light and we have a shadow side, we get to know ourselves at a deeper level. And doing that, it's very rewarding. At least personally for me has been, because that has given me a lot of self-confidence, self-trust, and of course, like my self-care and self-love have increased a lot just by knowing myself better. And last but not least, another benefit of living intentionally is to live more authentically. And why is this? Well, first of all, you live in alignment with your core values. So you live in alignment, in harmony, in what is very important to you. And that also, since you are always minding your business and not somebody else's, if we stop that judgmental mind more from the exterior, because we are focusing in us feeling good and achieving whatever we want to achieve, then we become more conscious. And at the same time, of course, again, we know what we desire to experience. So therefore, it's very easy to deliberate what we want to live. Right? We're just not taking it for granted, because if there's a situation, we are like, okay, do I want to experience this or that? Again, we are choosing, you are choosing. But then also by improving your self-confidence and your self-trust before, and your self-love, then you bring out more of yourself, right? You unapologetically. And that's how you live more authentically, because you start showing your true self. And by doing so, it creates such a freedom. It gives so much liberation to be able to express yourself like freely and unapologetically. It's really a life-changing, big time. Big time. And of course, it's a work in progress. Everything is a work in progress, but yeah, the more you start seeing yourself like, yeah, you're living intentionally focused on what you want to experience, what you want to co-create and all that. So you show off more of yourself. And it's just magical. It's just magical. So again, these are the benefits, some of the benefits of living intentionally. Just to recap, I'm just going to mentioning them again. So you are more present, you become an achiever, you feel pride and fulfilled, you set routines that make you feel good, you align with your values, your relationships improve, you take control of your life, you strengthen your boundaries, you improve your relationship with the self, and you live more authentically. So I hope this can really inspire you and motivate you to yeah, to wanting to live intentionally, because again, these are just 10 of the benefits. I'm sure there are more, many more. If I really dig in more into myself, I'm sure I can find more than this. So yeah, I really hope this guy is inspiring you for you to start living intentionally. So to wrap up 222, and then start 2023 intentionally, we're gonna do, it's more like about reflections. So if you have a journal, piece of paper and a pen, I recommend you to bring in now. So you can really, reflect on this. We usually don't take the time. We live life sometimes so fast that we don't take the time to really reflect on what we are experiencing or what we have lived. And that is sad. uh, because we are always creating something, co-creating something, living something, and many times we just take it for granted. And even though if there, again, I know we have lived challenging years lately, but that doesn't mean that we haven't achieved anything. That doesn't mean that we haven't created something or lived something magical. I really believe that it's up to us to see that magic around us, to see that spark in life, because it does exist. It's up to us if we want to see it or not. But that's why I'm bringing this wrap up reflections so you can really appreciate what you have experienced this year. It doesn't matter which way is it. If it was painful, it was very joyful, or was something in the middle, because again, those are just labels, right, that we put on things to define them. But at the end or at the beginning, any experience here in life is to really, to appreciate it, to learn something, to create happiness, or whatever it is. Because one of the things, like, for me, that I've learned in life, and something that I shifted as a definition of success, the one of the things that sorry, it was not success, is the contrary, which is failure. Like, for me personally, there is no failure. Either I win or I learn. That's it. And the truth is, most of the time I'm learning. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. But those learning lessons, by experiences, by relationships, by different things all the time, that's what really makes me who I am. That's what really makes me have this wisdom that I'm sharing with you based on knowledge and life experiences. It's really a mix of all of them, and it's the same with you. Like, whoever you are at this very moment, because we're constantly changing. Whoever you are at this very moment is based on your education, and your life experience, of your perceptions, of your culture, religion. There's so many things that make us who we are. The thing is, there are some things in specific, if we want to, if we are ready to actually shift them, so we can experience life in a more rewarding and in more fun way. Because the truth is, the older we get too serious with life. And life is a game. We're continually playing here and there. So it's about approaching life with that kind of, of play or fun, of pleasure, so we can really shift how we approach it. And by changing that approach, life itself is going to change for us. There's no other option. So that's why really living intentionally, when you want to approach life, like one of my intentions, like usually in the morning, is living intentionally is like living in presence, in joy, in pleasure, in love. And by just setting that intention every day, that's how I experience most of my days. Not all of them, no, but at least most of them. Or sometimes if there's a way, then I can, come back and get into a alignment of balance of why am I feeling off? So it's really our approach to life that makes it different. So that's why by wrapping up this 2022, I really consider important to set ourselves in a gratitude mode. Like really like being grateful for being alive, being grateful for your temple body, for who you are, for your body itself. If you're able to have all your extremities, as I am, and if not, I'm more than sure they are also grateful. Like each of the parts of our body, how it functions, and we don't have to do anything. Most of the things we don't have to do anything by feeding ourselves. And unfortunately, sometimes we don't even do it in the right way. But then we have all our senses. We have all these body that take us to places and, let us hug people and touch and see and smell and experience so many things with this temple body. So be grateful for it. I invite you to really take the time to do a scan from head to toes and say what you're grateful for each of the parts of your body, for your hair, for your brain, for your forehead, for your eye, your eyebrows, your lips, your chest, your intestines. Go all the way. And I'm going to give you a tip for that every time you tend to judge yourself, because we tend to judge our body, that's the truth, shift it for something that you are grateful for. Just shift it like that. And then you're going to see how you changed your energy just by, instead of judging yourself, start being grateful for yourself, right? Another thing that I want you to be grateful for is really for this 2022, like for your job. If it's something that you enjoy or you don't enjoy, be grateful for it. It brings you the salary to pay your bills in full, or at least one part of them. Be grateful for your family. It doesn't matter how your relationships are. Be grateful for them. They are still alive. They're still there. Be grateful for your health. And we made it. We're at the end of this year. We really made it. With all the struggle, with all the joy, whatever it is, but we made it. We are here. So then be grateful for that. Be grateful for all the material stuff that you have at home. How many things you have, how many devices, how many stuff in the kitchen, in your bedrooms, to live cozy, to live comfortable. Be grateful for all that. Be grateful for all the experiences that you have this year. everything that you have experienced, everything that you may consider super cool or nyeh, or bad or sad or joyful or whatever it is, be grateful for it. Again, if we don't win, we learn. So what do you learn from each experience? You know, you have the opportunity to travel, either for work, for pleasure. Were you able to visit your family? Did you do a solo trip? You know, whatever it is that you experience, be grateful for it. And the cool part of being grateful is that the more grateful we are, the more abundance we attract to us. Because what we appreciate appreciates. So while we more appreciate whatever we have, those things are also going to appreciate us and would like to come to us, right? Then let's pass to acknowledgements. We are not used to self-acknowledge. We're not used to it because then, at least in my culture in Mexico, if you sometimes acknowledge yourself, they see it as a snob or someone that is not humble, you know. And probably that's some of the reasons that I usually don't say it out loud, right? At least now I do it for myself. But that's the thing, like, it's really like self-acknowledging all the wins that you did this year. Like, what did you achieve this year? That it was in your to-do list and that it was not in your to-do list. Because how many things we achieved that they are not even in our list, but then we did it. So also, like, take credit for those things too, right? And also acknowledge who you are now. Because again, we are ever changing. So a year ago, where were you? Like, you know, physically, where were you as well? In which location? Who was it with you? What do you have? Who was around you? And then from there on, like, where are you now? Who are you now? Like, really, what have you shifted? What, how did you grow during this year? You know, like, if you grow in like, really, I mean, in the personal development, like, did you shift some perceptions? Did you change some limiting beliefs? Did you release some of the programs, you know, that you have had? Did you set boundaries with other people? Like, all these things are so subtle, but I really think that those are the things that really make the difference in our lives. So please take the time to really acknowledge yourself, how all those little things, all those little shifts that you have done to make you, you know, like the person that you are at this very moment, your successes, your wins, your growth, all that. And then we come to, since we have already, you know, been grateful for things and we have self-acknowledgements of who you are, then who do you want to become? Who do you want to be in 2023? Who do you see yourself? I mean, 2023, I know it's in just a few days, but how do you see yourself then in a year from now? Where are you? Who's around you? What have you purchased? How do you feel? How much have you grown? Can you really like visualize that person, that higher version of yourself next year? And I say a higher version because we're here to improve, right? If you are here, if you want to live intentionally, it's because you want to improve yourself. So it means that it's a higher version, a better version of yourself, because you keep getting better and better. And that's the idea. And I'm not saying better compared to whom or that. No, to yourself, to the person that you are now and wherever you want to move forward from now on. And then also visualize, what are you doing? Like from at the end of next year, what are you doing? What do you want to have? Who do you want to be? Because the truth is you can be, do, or have whatever you want. Because you are the creator of your own reality. I hope you believe that, and if not, think about it again. You are the creator. You are the one taking the decisions. You are the one making the decisions. You are the one taking the action. But the idea of you being here in this circle by living intentionally is really then by having a focus, by having some goals. So then the decisions and the actions are in alignment with what you want to create. So you're living by design and not by default, right? So now that you know who you want to become, the next thing is, what do you need to release, to let go, in order for you to become that person that you just visualize? What is it? What is holding you back? Is it your thoughts? Is it your programs? Is it the status quo? Is it the checklist that you're supposed to follow? You know, or the belief of the general belief of you are not enough. Because that fucking belief really gets stuck to many people. And I include myself in here. It is amazing how many people, just for believing that we are not enough, we get stuck. We become people pleasers, and that's another story. But again, it's like, what do you have to release so you can really move forward, right? What version of you now will you have to let go? What part of your ego? That, yeah, our ego is there to keep us safe, but the thing is, sometimes we get stuck, we don't move because we get so afraid of our safetyness. But if we don't take chances, we're not able to move forward, right? So what do you have to release? Really write it down, everything that comes to mind. It can probably either include some relationships or probably a job. You are the one who knows your journey. You are the one taking the decisions. So it's up to you to really letting go of whatever is holding you back, so you can become the person that you want to, that you really deeply desire. Then also, Oh, you see it's there. After we have released, you know who you want to become, you have released what you want to let go of. Really define which are your goals and your desires of 2023. So make a list. Make a list of all of those. Again, how do you see yourself from now on? What goals do you want to achieve? Then what do you want to experience? If you want to go travel something, if you want to get a new job in certain company, really visualize that future and feel it. It's very important that you feel it, because the more we get into that emotion, into that energy, the faster we can manifest it. That's how it works. It's about trusting ourselves and trusting the universe, God, the divine, whoever you want to call it, that what we ask is already there. It's already there. At the same time, we're here living a human experience, so it's really moving towards those goals and desires that we want to achieve. And that's the idea, again, of this living intentionally circle, to have that accountability and that support and that nourishment from this circle, so you can move forward and you have the accountability from myself and from other group members here. And because what happens is sometimes we forget about it, right? So it's really, for me, it works having that accountability. I'm in a yearly program, and by having the sisterhood, and for us having calls every week or 2 weeks, it gives me the accountability and the support that I need to keep moving forward with that program. So imagine having that support and accountability for living intentionally. It's like for really living the life that you want to live. Plus here, of course, I'm really hoping that we can create a very loving and supporting community, that then you can connect with other people, and probably we create friendships here, right? That would be super cool. That's part of the idea of this community, right? And again, for really setting up the base to really live an intentional year 2023, and with excitement and with enthusiasm, that is gonna be better, that you can create it better. Again, you are the one choosing. It's up to you. It's up to you. And I'm sure you can make it. You can. I mean, I'm witness that I've been doing this already for 5 or 7 years. So you can make it too. And it's going to be really cool that you're going to be here surrounded by people we are on the same path. We want to achieve our goals, our desires, and we want to support each other, and we want to share stuff that is going to help us get there. Right? So it's really like you deciding which changes you want to make in 2023, what thought habits needs to shift, which action habits you need to implement to achieve your goals, even if it's your health, your wealth, your relationships. If you want to feel happier, if you want to feel peaceful, if you want to feel fulfilled, whatever it is that is a really deep desire, like which shift you need to make in your life. That's an actions that it will help you, really live intentionally with that focus on whatever you want to achieve. So that's why in January, what we're gonna do is really set goals intentionally. That's what the call is gonna be on January 5th. So meaning next week. And for you to really decide, what do you want to achieve? And at the same time, the idea is to start also setting an action plan. And I'm going to be guiding you. I'm going to be giving you several tools to do that. And that's the idea. So what I really invite you to do is to, if you haven't watched this whole video, to really take the time to watch the video, to follow the different reflection questions that I give you before about gratitude, about self-acknowledgement, about who you want to become, what do you want to release, so you can really set the goals and desires. And for our call in January, and of course, you're also going to have time, and I'm going to give you some guidance that you can then go a bit farther with it to a deeper level, because then sometimes it takes a lot of reflection, really. So it's really about giving you then some guidelines so you can continue working on your own. Because yeah, living intentionally takes work. You need to take action. You need to be open to give, to receive, open and willing to really make those changes that are gonna help you shift your life. Shift your life, because if you want to create something specific, if you want to design the life that you want to experience, you gotta work on it. Because it's not by default. That's what we don't want, to live by default. But whatever comes to us, and then that's what we are experiencing. Fuck no, that's enough. We've done it for how many years? So it's time for you now to really start living intentionally, according to your terms, according to your values, according to what you want to experience in life. For you, for your surrounding, with the relationships that you desire, is you who chooses. Free will. Free will. We have it. You have it. So it's up to you to choose how you want to live this human experience. So just to, so just to close up again, go to those prompts that I give you about closing this year. And so you can really close this year with gratitude and appreciation. Because despite the challenges, there is always something that we learn. There is always something that we shift, some change that we achieve. Yeah, so don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. And so my invitation is to join the Living Intentionally Circle. The free membership is there. So whatever you get into the circle itself, it's for free. This call is the very first call that I'm giving, and it's for free as well. Since people are just starting joining, my guess is that most likely the first call next week is going to be also for free. But then starting in February, then the membership starts. That pay, if you want to be on the call and be able to ask questions and all that, then you will have to enter like the paid membership, which is $22 per month. And you get a lot of support through the membership portal and in the platform, and you will get more juicy stuff in there. Of course, again, I have the free membership, but I'm still giving support and guidance over there. But of course, if you pay for the membership, you're gonna get extra support through chat, through voice messages and some other specific articles or practices I may share with you there. So this is for now. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. It's been such a pleasure being here and this very first call of the Living Intentionalist Circle. I hope to see you very soon. And if you have any questions or comments, then, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can find me in Facebook at Kenasiu, Kenasiu, or the Wellbeing Project. That's my page in Facebook as well. So, and my website is wellbeingproject.ca. And you can see more information about, the membership, my services, and all that. Again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you. I appreciate you and celebrate you for taking the time for yourself, because you deserve it, and you also deserve to live the life that you desire with intention. Sending you lots of love and a lot of kisses, and take care. I hope to see you very soon.